Hi all, and welcome to another edition of the Blue Bridge and the preview of our match against Manchester City. Can we upset the apple cart, or are we going to get embarrassed? So I've just finished listening to Pep Guardiola's press conference ahead of our match against Manchester City tomorrow at 5:30 UK time. I don't really know what to make of this guy. Is he being nice, or is he just gaslighting us? He said Chelsea are an exceptional team. This season we haven't shown that we're an exceptional team. I think he's just gaslighting us or lulling us into a false sense of security. But you know what? We're not going to fall for that. And I don't know if it's me, I'm not sure if anyone else agrees, he always comes across in his press conferences as a little bit passive aggressive, and the abrupt manner in which he answers the questions and puts down the reporters. But then again, they deserve to be putting down some of the questions that they ask, because one guy asked about Liverpool playing on Thursday, but he told him quite bluntly that Liverpool, because they topped their group in the Europa League, that they won't be playing this Thursday. So, these guys, this is their job. This is their bread and butter. So you would expect the least that they can do is to get it right when they're asking questions, because it comes across as a bit embarrassing. And I think with the English press, it's they don't know what to ask the managers sometimes, because some of the questions are a bit cringy. So let's talk about tactics, guys, when you're asking questions rather than discussing nonsense. Anyway, back to the game. And tomorrow is going to be a big test for us, because we've done okay at home against the top three. We haven't been beaten against the top three, but we haven't won it neither. We should have won all three of them, arguably. I'll say that obviously the Arsenal one was the worst one, where we gifted them a way back into the game. The Liverpool one, glorious chances missed at when the scoring was level. And I go back to that Gusto chance against Manchester City. Had he put that one away and we went ahead, then who knows? I'm not saying Manchester City could well have come back, but if we had gone 4-3 up with a crowd on our side, then arguably we could have won that game too. But a lot has happened since then. Consistency is what separates the has-beens from the top teams, and that's what we've been lacking all season, that consistency. And for me, if we look at the two teams and analyse the two teams, this is how far we have. If you look at the gulf and the gap, this is how far we've come. Who would get into the Manchester City side from our squad? I can't think of hardly any. Maybe a fit Reece James. Now, if a fit Reece James would probably shade it over Kyle Walker now, because of Kyle Walker's age and everything else. So I'm looking at him. Maybe if Enzo fulfills his potential, then maybe Enzo could get into that side, possibly. But who ahead of, And I'm looking at, if we're looking at Enzo, we're looking at him after De Bruyne has left, because he wouldn't get in ahead of De Bruyne or Rodri or what's his name, Bernardo Silva at this moment. So you're kind of scratching your heads and thinking, there's nobody in our side who will get into that City side, as I said, bar Reece James. A lot of people as well have been talking about the overhaul that we've had, and okay, I'm one who said we got rid of too much experience as well. But if we let's rewind back to when all the players that we had before we had, we transformed our side, and look at anybody who would have got in from the guys that we sold. Again, I'm scratching my head and thinking, who would get into that side above and over whoever's in the team at the moment? And there's nobody apart from Reece James again. I can't see somebody like a Jorginho wouldn't get in there. Cover's gone there, and he's a bench player now. He's not really starting. He's just a bench player. And so Mason Mount, no. Pulisic, no. Havertz, no. So there's nobody from the players that we sold who would have got into that side. And good teams need good players as well. And that's what we are seeing. We have fallen so far behind. And if we looked at it a few years ago when we had the likes of Drogba, Lampard, Terry, Ashley Cole, people like that, they'll be walking into that Manchester City side. So if you don't have the best players, it's hard for you to compete at the top. And that's where we are at the moment. That's the reality that we are in. So, and another thing as well, which highlights that fact, is that their reserve team player, Cole Palmer, who was a fringe player for them, I say fringe, but he was an up-and-coming young player. He'd have been warming bench at the moment, let's be honest. He wouldn't be playing in the games. He would be playing, coming off the bench and maybe playing some cup games here and there. He is arguably our best player. This season, he's definitely our best performer, the most consistent performer, with his stats of 10 goals and 6 assists, I think it is, over the course of the season. And so and as I said, we bought all these players, yet, and we spent loads of money on players, but yet Cole Palmer, a guy from Manchester City Reserves, is still the best player that we have at our disposal. And I'm not saying that these players won't come good, because we've got a lot of younger players, but if you want to compete at the top, you need world-class players. It's as simple as that. I was on a space the other day talking about Guardiola, and I'm not diminishing anything that he's done. He's a superb manager. He's raised the bar, but again, even he's admitted that he wouldn't be able to do it if he didn't have very good players at his disposal. So, with Pochettino, not a defending Poch, but I have a bit of sympathy for Poch. He's made mistakes, as I keep saying, but with the players that he's got at the moment, he'll have to work miracles if he's going to compete at the highest level. So having said that, these players, I think, are more than good enough to be challenging for a top 4 space, top 6 space. But again, it's a case of they potential to be good enough, but we have a brand new team. The other day he mentioned that we are a young side, so don't expect anything. And what he means, I think a lot of it was taken out of context. What he meant, it was not only a young side in age, but we're a young side in because these guys have just got together this season, so they haven't formed. When I used to do marketing, there are 4 things that we were taught when it comes to team building, and it is forming, storming, norming, performing. I think I got that right. So what that means is forming, that's what we've done. We've formed a new side. Storming, like it's brainstorming new ideas, etc. But in footballing terms, I will liken it to getting used to the players that you have, what sort of runs they like, what sort of balls they like to receive, etc. Norming, now you're familiarized with the runs and everything else. Now you can practice for familiarized with the patterns of play and everything else, because you are norming, you're normalizing, you're sort of getting used to everyone's play. So that makes you better as a team as you go along with the team building, and then you start performing. So Chelsea are still at that infant stage. I think we are at the storming and norming stage at the moment. So anyone who does marketing would know what I mean by that. And so hopefully next season we'll be on the performing, not underperforming, on the performing stage of our team building. So, Pep's been there a while, so this is a well-oiled Manchester City side. And for me, I'm hoping for a similar result, but a similar performance, as the one we did at Stamford Bridge, but with a result in our favour. I can't see it, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. But if we can put in a performance where we kind of don't embarrass ourselves and make a good account of ourselves against Manchester City, then that will go a long way to building blocks for the rest of the season and the seasons to come. So these guys, these are the matches that they need to go into and try and prove themselves and prove that they belong in this company, because at the moment You know, we have fallen well short of the standards that we expect at Chelsea, and until things start to happen, the fan base is going to be a little bit dubious of this particular project. So guys, what do you think tomorrow? Are you confident going into the game tomorrow, or do you feel that we're going to hide into nothing? Stick your comments in the section below, and don't forget, as always, to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications to be notified every time I make a new video. So take care, bye bye.